Hi there, this is Nicole M. Louie, the Social Worker Strategy Mentor. I hope that you are well. Today I'm going to be talking about you not choosing the wrong legal structure for your business. So a lot of mentees that I work with, they tend to choose the incorrect business structure because they haven't necessarily understood how to connect what they want from being fully independent with how they're going to set up their fully independent business. And so by default, they end up creating the wrong business structure. So if this is something that you're interested in listening to, because you're either wanting to do more in your business but feel that there might be some restrictions, or you're actually starting off on becoming fully independent and you just need some support with being able to understand which direction to navigate in, then this is definitely live stream for you. So you can comment below, tag somebody that you know would find this information useful, and share it as well. So we're going to get straight into it. And if you want support and assistance in terms of working on a one-to-one or on a community basis or however with me, then you can DM me the word launcher and we can have a conversation about how you can get started and what you can do. Okay, so let's talk about this structure. Now, there are two structures that I would work within from a legal point of view, or that I recommend for independent social workers. There are other, structures out there like CIC, for example, if you're here in the UK, community interest groups, that sort of thing, charities. You could set up your business in that way, depending on what you're going to do. I tend not to support or encourage social workers to do that, because that doesn't necessarily give you the structure that allows you to have the outcome that you want. Most social workers want to reduce their hours. They want to reduce the intensity of the work that they're doing. They want to avoid jumping through hoops, having to do long forms, having to fit into criterias, and they don't want to be necessarily told what to do, when to do, or how to do it. They want to have far more autonomy over that. And so those sorts of structures aren't useful for that necessarily. And also they want to be able to have more flexibility in other ways, which I'm going to talk about shortly. So a sole trader or limited company are the two that I would recommend for social workers who are maybe just starting out and maybe haven't got the funds to really scale quite quickly, because they either don't have the information as well. What I wouldn't want you to do is set up a limited company and have to be doing your returns, doing your paperwork and your filing, pay for an accountant and all the things that come along with it, filing your annual statement, all of those things which cost money. You're just going to be hemorrhaging money, right? So I don't want you to do that. It's far more ideal that when you are putting your infrastructure together, you can actually set up, if you're working with somebody where you know you're going to start utilizing an income stream before you've even launched, then yes, you can. And I would recommend you set up as a sole trader and let Inland Revenue know that you've started your business and you started trading, and you can carry on in that way until such time you've started making an income, and you can then move it into a limited formal structure. That's a better option. That's something that I say to social workers who are taking their time to actually grow the business, want to be able to start earning income before they even have launched, and where they may be very low on funds. And so they need to be very methodical and very strategic in where they put their money, where they're investing in their business and for themselves. So that's one way. And the thing about being a sole trader, from a legal perspective, you and your business are one. There's no separation. And so you don't have to separate your bank accounts, even though I always recommend it's very good practice to do that immediately, because it just gets you into the mindset and the mind frame of working in that way. And, there are going to be certain elements that, from a legal point of view, there is no difference between you and your business. You'll do your returns as a self-assessment only. And so some people find that doing it themselves, they can do it themselves and they like to do it. I'm a strong advocate of having somebody who's professional in the numbers to do that, because they're going to know what things you're able to save on. They're going to know the nuances specifically to your personal circumstance, and they're going to have the up-to-date information that you're just not going to have access to. New loopholes or legislations that have come out, or things that have come out that will affect you and impact you on a personal level and professional level. So I always recommend that you still have like an accountant that will help you with that. So the second way, as I said, is a limited company. So before I get into limited company, again, I just want to encourage you, if this is something that's of interest to you and you want the assistance and support to understand how to put this into practice and how to set it up, this is things that when I'm working with my mentees on a one-to-one, we're actually doing this together, and we are going online and we're setting up the business, we're setting up their bank account, we're doing all of those things and taking the head work out of it for you. So if you want that kind of assistance and support and more to put your business together, just DM me the word launcher, and I'll be able to assist you in that. This is something that you want to make sure that you get right from the outset, because I can tell you from my own experience, but also the experience of working with some of my mentees who went ahead and did this, having to scale it back and fix it can be time consuming, pressurizing, and a nightmare. You want to pull your hair out sometimes. Okay. So this is definitely something that you want to note down. And if you haven't yet taken the step, or you put pen to paper and you've started the step, just review what you're doing to make sure you're going down the right road. Okay, so let's continue with a limited company. Limited company is the best option for whatever you're going to do as an independent social worker. The reason why I say that, first and foremost, you and your company are two separate legal entities. So if something happens to you personally, somebody can't come after your business. And if something has happened within your business, somebody can't come after you personally, okay? Unless, of course, you've been grossly negligent, which as social workers, we're not really like that. We are very meticulous. We have attention to detail, and we like to cross the T's and dot the I's because that's what we're used to doing. And so you're undoubtedly going to take that into your business. But from a legal point of view, if you get complaints or anything like that, you are separate, excuse me, from your actual business. So you won't have to worry about any legal repercussions. This is really important when we are working in our industry, and especially for those of you that are going to still be working on the front line, working with members of the community, in particular capacities where they may be having particular difficulties. And again, not necessarily crisis, because I spoke about this on Sunday about, being clear that you don't want to be focused on doing crisis work, okay, because you don't have the structure or infrastructure or the legal mandate to proceed with that kind of thing. So as an independent, you want to avoid that sort of thing. But definitely you want to be still considering that people are going to have some issues because you're going to be solving a problem. Every business exists to solve a problem, regardless to whether that problem's related to ego, whether it's related to morality, or whether it's related to obligation, whatever it might be. You want to be able to solve a problem, and you want to be able to plug the gaps where there is services missing within the industry, right? So the limited company is going to allow you that, and that's really important. It gives you protection from a personal point of view. As I've just explained, anything goes wrong in your business or personally, the two do not collide, they are separate. All right. And then from a business perspective, the protection is there so that when you are scaling your business and you're using your various income streams, so maybe partnerships and strategic alliances or collaborations might be something you go on to do. In understanding how to do that, you're going to ensure that as a limited company, you're protected in that way. So when you set up your shares, for example, within your limited company, you're going to understand how when you invite a partner on, depending on what they bring to the table, if you do a partnership and you want to give them a share in your company, you're going to understand how to structure your shares so that people can't vote you off of, or out of your own company. So things like that, people you need to be aware of. And I've had mentees come to me where they have had either family members as part of their business or other people as part of their business who own shares, but they don't understand how to set that up so that actually they are protected within their company. And so going through those kind of things and fixing those things within people that are maybe semi-independent is things that I've been doing. And so it's important that you understand from a business point of view how to structure the business, but also understand that having the limited company actually gives you that level of protection, because you can structure things in a way where you can keep your intellectual property, you could trademark, do all those things that really will allow you within the business to just be protected and have that longevity and a strong structure. So there's that. And then you've got the element of with a limited company, it doesn't give you limitations. So with a charity and with CICs and other structures in like that, there are some limitations in the amount as a director you can earn. There are also limitations in maybe how you do things, and there's certainly processes that you have to go through that might be laborious, be full of paperwork, that you have to be part of. Now, I know that for some social workers, they see that as a plus, is as far as, okay, it means that I can apply for grants, I can apply for funding. But actually, as a limited company, you can still do that. You just have to know where to look. The other thing that for me, when I'm mentoring my social workers, the way we structure their business is done in a way where they don't have to rely or even think about tendering, getting government funding, getting grants, or anything like that. There will always be opportunities out there to get additional income from the government or other entities as a business, just for the fact that you're a business, but it's understanding where you go to get those. So I want you to really not be limited in your thinking, well, I have to, I want to do it in a way so I could get government funding and I could bid for things and, I can be eligible to get this pot of money. The fact is you'll work to get that money if you get it. And number two, you're jumping through hoops to be able to be eligible for it. And sometimes you may have to water down what you're doing to fit into that. And you never want to do that. You want to be really clear about your vision, what your vision is, and why you have that vision. And you want to be able to have the autonomy to set it up the way you want it without, it being liquidized or juiced in any way. So those are the things that I'd say as far as the limitations from that point of view in terms of the way you work, but also in terms of limitations with the money. As I said, as a director, there might be limitations on the amount that you can have coming in and just the way monies are managed. So it's always ideal for you to be able to have more autonomy and structure over how you are running your business and what money comes in, what money you believe you deserve as a director for the work you are putting in. You've built this business from the ground up, and you want to be able to enjoy the money. I've come across social workers all the time, whether they're in the Facebook groups that I'm in or my own private community, those that are mentees of mine, and just people that I've worked with over the years. Across the 12 local authorities, money has always been an issue. And now that there's IR35, now that there is having to work via an agency or an umbrella company, a lot of social workers are saying that the money isn't much different from being a permanent worker, and it doesn't feel it's enough, especially given the inflation that has recently happened. So with that said, again, a limited company doesn't give you a ceiling to the amount of income you can earn or how you price your things. And that's really important as far as, again, autonomy and being able to do, the more money you can bring in is the more you can expand and do greater things for those that you're trying to serve. So that's a really key and important thing. So again, I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comment section and I'll answer them. And if this is, again, something that you want support and assistance with, do DM me the word launcher and let's jump on a call and talk about where you might be stuck and what you can do to move forward initially. And if working with me is a fit for us both, then we can talk about that also. But the main thing I want you to just to really take note of the stuff that I've said, maybe do your own research and do some more information seeking about it, because, I know from experience, and as I said, with working with some of my mentees that have got it wrong, trying to undo it and figure out what they do with this business that they've now created in the wrong way is kind of a headache, and you're just throwing money up in the air basically and allowing the wind to blow it away. So make sure that you're really focused on being clear about what you want, what is your vision, and how do you want to do independent social work. And that has to very much be aligned with what is it that you want out of it. Don't structure your business and try and set it up in a way that is very institutionalized, or that's going to be done in a way that is not going to allow you the freedom, the time freedom that you want to be able to do your own thing and not be tied to a desk or tied to a location. All of those things come into it. And so for those of you that have been on any of my webinars, whether it's a 3-day challenge or What else have I got? The webinar, I did a boot camp, a one-day boot camp, where I actually talked you through how to create your vision for independence so that you're asking yourself the right questions. You know, that's going to be important for you to create in, or having a vision of what you want for independence. And that's the breadcrumb trail that you use to be able to then think about the legal entity and how you're going to structure it and all those things. So if you want more information about that as well, let me know, DM me the word launcher, and I can, and say specifically that you want the boot camp, or DM me the word boot camp, and then I'll know that you want information about that. So, okay, thank you so much for joining, and I will speak to you very soon. See you on Sunday. Take care.